How to hire a WordPress developer in the Philippines. With WordPress powering so much of the internet, people always want to know, how do I find a WordPress developer? And what I always say is, number one, go to the Philippines with it. You can find really, really good talent that is so much more affordable than in the US or Australia or the UK or whatever it is. And frankly, they're probably going to be better and give you more hours for so much less money. So how do you find this person? So the first step is to decide exactly what you're looking for. Are you looking for a designer, someone to make your website look pretty? Are you looking for someone to create custom plugins for your WordPress site, or maybe to do some custom programming? Or are you looking for someone to manage your WordPress, to maybe write content or post content or deal with categories, or someone to manage your WordPress? So once you've figured that out, that's step one. Figure out exactly what you're looking for. Next, step two, head over to OnlineJobs.ph and browse resumes of people with skills of WordPress. So what you're going to do, go to OnlineJobs.ph. In the search box, you're going to type in WordPress or WordPress designer or WordPress developer or WordPress blogging or something like that, whatever you're looking for. And then you're going to start looking at resumes of people that you're finding. Now, just so you know, these are resumes of people, but they're not an indication that they're available to work. It's really just a, hey, I'm creating a profile here, and maybe they already got a job, or maybe they're working, or maybe they are actively looking. We just don't know, and I'm going to get into that in a second. So as you browse these resumes, you're going to learn a couple things. Number one, you're going to learn, what are salaries like in the Philippines? How much are people asking to make for full-time work or for part-time work? Number two, you're going to figure out what skills exist. Can I actually find someone with skills? How much experience do they have? What work have they done in the past? So those are the things that you're looking for as you browse these resumes, just looking to get a general idea of who could I hire. You might want to bookmark a couple of those so you can contact them later. Step three to hiring a WordPress developer is to post a job. Now that you know how much your salary is, you know what skills you're looking for, go on OnlineJobs.ph and post a job. You'll post your title, your description, your salary, and what skills you're looking for. Should be pretty easy. Step four is to interview the people who apply. Now, you could also, back in step three, instead of just posting a job, you could also proactively contact a couple of the people or a bunch of people who you found while you were looking at resumes. Now, what I don't recommend you do is start by narrowing it down to one person and saying, oh, I'm going to hire this guy, and then contact them. It almost never works that way. The better way to do it is to take everybody who applies and everybody you contacted and who replies to you and start interviewing them all by asking a bunch of questions via email. Most people always want to skip to the Skype interview right at the beginning, and that's a mistake. What you'll do is you'll lose really good recruits who were talented and weren't comfortable getting on Skype just because you want to do a Skype interview. It also takes so much more time to recruit someone by doing a Skype interview first rather than recruiting through email. The way you do it through email is you ask lots of questions across lots of emails, and you're going to get to see their attention to detail, how good is their English, how quickly do they respond, are there any red flags? There's a bunch of things you look for. Step number five is to narrow this down with a test. Now for WordPress, maybe you have them modify a WordPress site, an example WordPress site that you set up. Or maybe you have them set up WordPress on your site. One of the things that I've done in the past was I would give people access to my hosting account, and I would say, here's the domain, go set up WordPress on it, change the theme to be something else, change the homepage to be a static page, and write a post and a page for it. And then I could see oh, do you actually do this? How well do you do it? If it's a developer, you're going to have to give them a programming test. If it's a designer, maybe have them redesign a page on your site. But you can narrow this down by giving tests to a number of people. Just so you know, as you do that, anything that takes them longer than 30 minutes should be paid. So you're going to want to pay them, and maybe it's $10 or $20, and maybe you give it to 5 different people, but you get a really good idea of who to hire this way. While you're doing this, it's acceptable now to do the Skype interview. Don't do it in the beginning of the process. You can do it at the end of the process. It'll save you a lot of headache. Step number 6, negotiate your terms. Now that you have figured out pretty much who you want to hire, start negotiating hours, salary, paid time off, whatever it is you want to negotiate your terms. You may find that Someone wants $600 a month for full-time work and someone else wants $1,400 a month, and you can't determine anything else that's different between them. And then it becomes a pretty easy choice. So you're going to negotiate your terms. At this point, you know who you're going to hire. Step 7, hire the person. Give them a job. Offer them a job that is not hourly, it's salaried, it's hopefully long-term. You'll just have a better experience doing it that way. My name is John Jonas, and I created a full process for how to hire people in the Philippines. It's available at onevaoa.com. It is me walking you through all of the steps from deciding exactly what kind of person to hire in the beginning to posting your job and all the details about posting your job and browsing resumes and how to interview and what questions I ask in the interview process and how do I do this test and what are the first steps when you decide to hire someone? What's the email I send? How do you onboard someone? I walk you through the entire process so you don't make any mistakes. onevaoa.com. It's $49. I guarantee you'll hire someone great or I will give you your money back, no questions asked.